Chosen one, what if I told you that this is your final instruction before your breakthrough? Heaven is watching, and your next move determines everything. The portal is open, and heaven is waiting on you. This moment isn't just another passing season, it's a divine appointment. If you've been feeling a shift in the atmosphere, a tug on your spirit, then you already know. You weren't led to this video by chance. God has been preparing you for a pivotal moment, and that moment is now. The choices you make in the next few days will echo into eternity. This is your confirmation that the waiting is over, and the time to act is here. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. Heaven has given the green light, and now it's up to you to move in alignment. The time for hesitation has passed. This is the season to step boldly into what's already been promised. The portal is open. Are you ready to walk through it? This is a prophetic season of urgency. You didn't stumble onto this message by chance. You may feel as though you're facing an endless waiting game, wondering when things will finally fall into place, but the truth is you've been preparing for something much greater. You're not imagining the shift happening around you. That nudge in your spirit, the restless feeling that refuses to fade, it's all pointing to a divine moment that is unfolding now. This is not an ordinary season. This is a time of profound spiritual alignment, where opportunities you've prayed for are finally taking shape. But here's what you need to know. The window is open now, and it won't stay open forever. The choices you make in this moment are the seeds for what will grow in the years ahead. The sense of urgency you're feeling isn't a coincidence, it's a call to action. It's easy to doubt when you're standing at a crossroads. You may feel the weight of past disappointments, times when doors seemed to close before you even got near them. You might think back to moments where you stepped out in faith only to meet resistance. Perhaps you've wondered if you were wrong all along, if the signs you thought you saw were nothing more than wishful thinking. These doubts can be paralyzing. They can keep you stuck, replaying the what-ifs and maybes until you're too afraid to move at all. But that struggle you feel, those questions, those moments of uncertainty, they are not a sign of failure. They are the refining fire that is shaping you, teaching you, and preparing you for what's ahead. The frustration you felt is not the end of the story, it's the prelude to a breakthrough. In Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1, it says, "To everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under heaven." This is your season. The waiting, the preparation, the setbacks, they all served a purpose. You've been placed in this moment by divine design, not random chance. Like a farmer who plants seeds in anticipation of the harvest, you've been laying the groundwork for what's about to come. This is the appointed time for the seeds to sprout, for the visions and dreams you've carried in your heart to finally take root. It may have seemed like nothing was happening, but beneath the surface, a divine plan has been unfolding. Now is not the time to retreat or second-guess. Now is the time to act. As you begin to step forward, you'll start to notice things shifting around you. Doors that seemed firmly shut may begin to open. People who had no interest in your work might suddenly take notice. Opportunities you never thought possible may appear seemingly out of nowhere. These aren't coincidences. They are signs that the divine is moving on your behalf. Think of it as a wave of energy that's been building over time, and now it's breaking on the shore. Your willingness to move with it, rather than against it, will determine how far you go. The signs are there if you look, subtle, maybe even quiet, but unmistakable. They're calling you forward, telling you that this is the moment you've been waiting for. When you understand that this isn't just a random series of events, but a carefully orchestrated plan, everything changes. What once felt like obstacles now seem like stepping stones. The delays, the frustrations, the detours, they were never there to block you. They were there to prepare you, to strengthen your faith, to make you more resilient. Divine timing isn't always comfortable, but it's always right. It ensures that when the moment comes, you're ready to step fully into it. This isn't about forcing something to happen, it's about aligning yourself with the movement that's already underway. Trust that what feels urgent isn't about panic, it's about purpose. Even as you begin to see the pieces come together, there's still a decision you need to make. Will you step into this moment fully, or will you hold back, waiting for more signs, more proof? True transformation requires more than just noticing the shift. It demands that you embrace it, that you move with the current instead of standing still. This can be daunting. There's always a temptation to cling to the familiar, to wait until you feel completely ready. But readiness isn't a feeling, it's a choice. It's the decision to say yes, even when you're uncertain, to take the next step even if you can't see the entire path. This is your moment of self-realization, the point where you stop waiting for permission and start claiming what's been waiting for you all along. Now that you've seen the signs and understand the timing, the next move is yours. Release the doubts, let go of the hesitation, and step forward. Take the first action, no matter how small it seems, and trust that more clarity will come with each step. Use this season as an opportunity to strengthen your spiritual practice, to deepen your faith, and to trust the process. Remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about being willing. Align your actions with your purpose, and you'll find that the doors continue to open, the opportunities continue to appear, and the path becomes clearer. This is your season, and now is your time. As you move forward, remember this: you are not alone. This is not a solo journey, but one that's supported by divine forces greater than you can imagine. The urgency you feel is a signal, a reminder that you've been chosen for this moment. Don't let it pass you by. Don't let hesitation rob you of what's waiting on the other side. Comment, "I am ready," if this resonates with you. You've come this far for a reason. The heavens are moving on your behalf. The season is now. Step into it. The portal is open. Only the prepared will step through. You can feel it, can't you? The subtle tension in the air, the quiet hum of something shifting around you. It's not just your imagination, it's a spiritual stirring, a call to step into a reality you've only glimpsed before. Maybe you've been asking, when will it be my time? Maybe you've been waiting, watching for a sign, wondering if you'll ever see the breakthrough you've been praying for. Well, here it is. The portal is open. This is not a moment to sit back or hesitate. It's not a time to question whether you're worthy or ready. The opportunity is here, right now, but it won't remain open indefinitely. That pull you feel deep within? That's your soul recognizing that it's finally time to move. But there's a catch. For many, the moment the portal opens is also the moment doubt creeps in. You might find yourself frozen, unsure of how to proceed. You're not alone in that hesitation. Most people feel it. You might think, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm not strong enough, prepared enough, or spiritual enough? That inner voice of doubt has a way of holding you back, convincing you that the perfect time is still off in the distance. Maybe you've experienced this before, when the opportunity was there, but fear kept you from stepping into it. You might even look back and wonder what could have been if you had trusted that first instinct. That regret, that lingering feeling of having missed a chance, can weigh heavily on your heart. But it doesn't have to be that way this time. In Revelation 3 verse 8, Jesus says, "See, I have set before you an open door, which no one is able to shut." That door represents a divine opportunity, a spiritual opening created by God's timing, not your own. But notice this, it's still your choice to walk through it. The portal being open isn't enough by itself. It requires you to move, to take action, to trust that what's on the other side is exactly what you've been prepared for. This moment has been placed before you by design. It's not random, and it's not something you earned through perfection. It's a gift, and it's waiting for you to receive it. This is the turning point where the what-ifs can finally turn into what's next. As you begin to embrace this, you'll start to notice subtle but significant changes. People who seemed distant or uninterested may suddenly reach out. Opportunities that felt out of reach might begin to show up without warning. The energy in your life will start to shift, as if the very universe is rearranging itself in your favor. You might even feel lighter, more hopeful, as if a burden has been lifted. These are not coincidences. They're signals that the portal is not just open, it's drawing you closer to your purpose. But these signs can't force you to move. They can only point the way. You still have to take the step to cross the threshold into the fullness of what's waiting for you. This isn't a process you have to handle on your own. The same divine force that opened the portal is working to align everything you need. Synchronicities, unexpected breakthroughs, and quiet nudges from God are all converging to clear your path. This isn't a test of endurance, it's a setup for elevation. The struggles you've faced were never meant to break you, they were meant to prepare you. Each obstacle you overcame was a step closer to this moment. Now, with the portal open, those past challenges are revealed as the training ground that strengthened your faith, sharpened your focus, and deepened your trust. Everything you've gone through was building toward this opportunity. Even as you start to see the pieces come together, there's a moment where you have to choose to fully step into it. This is where many falter, not because they don't see the signs, but because they hesitate to embrace them. It's not enough to recognize that the portal is open, you have to walk through it. Fear of the unknown can be a powerful deterrent. The idea of leaving behind the familiar, of stepping into something greater than you've ever experienced, can feel overwhelming. But this is a sacred moment, one where you must decide to trust the process, to believe that the God who opened this door will guide you through it. It's time to let go of hesitation and claim what's been prepared for you. The next move is yours. The portal is open, but it won't remain that way forever. Don't let fear, doubt, or a longing for the perfect time hold you back. The perfect time is now. Take the first step, no matter how small it seems. Start by saying yes to the pull you feel within. Begin to move and watch as the path unfolds before you. The opportunity is here, waiting for you to trust it, to step forward, and to receive what's been promised. This isn't just about walking through a door, it's about stepping into a new reality, a higher calling, a deeper alignment with your purpose. As you prepare to make that move, remember this: you're not alone. The portal was opened by divine design, and that same power is walking with you. The path may feel unfamiliar, but it is not uncertain. Trust that what lies on the other side is exactly what you've been waiting for. Trust that now is the time to act. The portal is open, only the prepared will step through. Comment, "I'm ready," if this resonates with you. This is your time. Take the step and don't look back. Obedience over perfection, the true test. It's so easy to feel like you're not ready. You look around at your life, at the things you've been through, the mistakes you've made, and you wonder, how could God possibly use me now? Maybe you're still piecing yourself back together after a season of loss, or you feel like you're stuck in a holding pattern, waiting for a clearer sign, a more obvious path forward. It's tempting to tell yourself that you need more time, that you need to be better, stronger, wiser. But what if the exact moment you're waiting for will never come? What if you don't need perfection to move forward, just faith and the willingness to act? This isn't about having it all together. It's about saying yes, right here, right now, and trusting that God will meet you where you are. The struggle with feeling unworthy or unprepared is universal. We look at the giants of faith, the heroes of Scripture, and imagine them as flawless, untouchable. But the truth is, they were human, just like us. Moses doubted his own ability to speak. Gideon questioned his qualifications. Jonah ran in the opposite direction of his calling. These were not people who had it all together. They were people who stumbled, doubted, and failed, but who ultimately chose to obey. Their lives remind us that God is not looking for perfect vessels. He's looking for willing hearts. Maybe you've been holding back, waiting until you feel more worthy or more equipped. Maybe you've been replaying past failures, convincing yourself that you're not the kind of person God could use. But what if the very things you see as flaws are the tools God will use to show His power? In Isaiah 6 verse 8, the prophet hears God's voice asking, "Whom shall I send? And who will go for us?" Isaiah's response isn't, "Wait until I'm ready," or "Let me fix a few things first." He simply says, "Here am I, send me." It's a moment of pure obedience, not perfection. Isaiah didn't have all the answers, but he had the willingness to step forward, trusting that God would provide everything he needed. This same invitation is extended to you. You don't need to have every detail figured out. You don't need to feel confident in your own strength. You simply need to say yes and let God handle the rest. The turning point in your journey isn't when you become flawless. It's when you choose to obey despite your flaws. When you take that first step of obedience, you'll begin to notice things shifting around you. It might be subtle at first, a sense of peace, a feeling of being in the right place at the right time, or a new opportunity that seems to appear out of nowhere. You'll start to see the fruits of your faithfulness, even in small ways. A conversation that opens a door you didn't expect. A connection that leads to something greater. These moments are not random, they're signs that God is working through your obedience. Each step you take strengthens your trust in Him and shows you that He is with you, guiding your path. This is where transformation begins, not in waiting for the perfect conditions, but in moving forward in faith and watching how God aligns everything in His perfect timing. What may feel like a leap of faith to you is actually a carefully orchestrated step in God's plan. Divine alignment doesn't happen when we've got everything figured out. It happens when we trust the one who does. The beauty of obedience is that it unlocks doors you didn't even know were there. Your willingness to step forward, to take action even when you're uncertain, invites God to move in ways you can't predict. It's not about proving yourself or meeting some impossible standard. It's about acknowledging that His power is made perfect in your weakness. When you embrace that truth, you realize that what seemed like obstacles were really opportunities for His strength to shine. There will come a moment when you look back and see how every hesitation, every moment of doubt, was a test of your trust. And when you choose to move despite those doubts, something incredible happens. You begin to see that the transformation isn't just about your circumstances changing, it's about you changing. The more you obey, the more your perspective shifts. Fear starts to lose its grip. The voice of inadequacy grows quieter. You stop waiting for the perfect conditions and start embracing the perfect will of God. This is the moment of self-realization, the moment when you understand that you don't have to wait to be ready because the readiness comes through obedience. So what happens next? You step into your calling. You release the fear that has held you back, and you trust that the God who called you will equip you. You let go of the need to be perfect and focus on being faithful. Each step you take builds your confidence, not in yourself, but in Him. You find that obedience leads to strength, and strength leads to courage. You start to see yourself as God sees you, chosen, capable, and ready to carry out the purpose He has placed on your life. The path forward becomes clearer, not because you have all the answers, but because you trust the one who does. And as you walk this path, remember, you were never meant to do this alone. The same God who calls you is the one who will sustain you. The journey may be uncertain, but the destination is sure. Comment, "I choose obedience," if this resonates with you. God isn't waiting for you to be perfect. He's waiting for you to trust Him enough to say yes. Open the door, take the step, and watch as God's favor meets you on the other side. Spiritual practices are your access codes. What if I told you that everything you need to connect with divine guidance is already within your reach? You don't have to search for a guru on a distant mountaintop or wait for some rare celestial event. The access codes to your spiritual alignment are as close as your breath, as simple as your first thought of the day. And yet, it's easy to overlook these tools, to dismiss them as too ordinary or too familiar. You may feel that in a world so noisy, so full of distractions, something so simple can't be enough. Maybe you've tried before but found it hard to be consistent, or you doubted whether such small acts could really have a transformative impact. But what if the greatest shift you could ever experience begins not with a thunderous sign, but with a quiet, deliberate moment of connection? It's understandable to feel skeptical at first. After all, if sacred practices are so simple, why doesn't everyone use them? Why don't we all wake up every day feeling completely aligned and purposeful? The truth is, spiritual practices require intention, and sometimes that's the hardest part. Maybe you felt the frustration of starting a new morning prayer routine only to let it slip after a few days. Perhaps you've tried writing in a gratitude journal but wondered if you were just going through the motions. Or maybe you've questioned the meaning of anointing yourself, feeling unsure whether it was just tradition or something that truly carried spiritual power. These doubts can cause you to hesitate, to put off creating the habits that could change everything. It's easy to think you're not disciplined enough or that you need something more complex or impressive. But what if the simplicity is the very point? What if the most profound transformations come through steady, consistent acts that open your heart and align your spirit? In Psalm 5 verse 3, the psalmist says, "In the morning, Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning I lay my requests before you and wait expectantly." This verse doesn't describe an elaborate ritual or a grand ceremony. It speaks of a simple, consistent practice, offering your heart to God at the start of the day. It's not about performing a complicated sequence of steps, but about showing up, being present, and trusting that God is already listening. The power lies not in perfection, but in intention. You don't need to be a scholar or a theologian to pray, you just need to start. You don't need to have a perfectly structured gratitude journal. You just need to reflect on the blessings you've received. You don't need a deep understanding of sacred oils. You just need to believe that setting yourself apart for divine purposes makes a difference. These simple actions, taken with a genuine heart, become your access codes, your way of tuning into heaven's frequency. Over time, as you embrace these practices, you'll start to notice subtle but undeniable changes. Maybe it's the way your mornings feel less rushed, as if the chaos of the world holds off for a few more moments. Maybe it's a deepened sense of clarity, a new confidence in the decisions you make because you've invited divine guidance into the process. Or maybe it's the unexpected opportunities that seem to find you, the way conversations lead to insights, or paths open where before there were only walls. These shifts may not be flashy, but they are meaningful. They remind you that your connection to the divine isn't something you have to struggle to reach. It's something you step into, moment by moment, practice by practice. What's happening behind the scenes is even more profound. Each morning prayer, each note of gratitude, each anointing sets into motion a divine alignment that reaches beyond what you can see. It's as if you're tuning a spiritual instrument, refining its sound, and allowing it to resonate at its highest frequency. With each act, you're not just opening doors, you're walking through them. The clarity you feel is no accident. The sense of peace that settles over you is not random. These are signs that higher forces are at work, clearing your path and guiding your steps. Your obedience to these small, sacred acts is matched by divine intervention, ensuring that what you need arrives at just the right time. At some point, you'll come to a realization that these practices are more than habits. They are touch points in your relationship with God, moments that ground you and remind you who you are. But to fully receive what they have to offer, you must embrace them wholeheartedly. Fear of inconsistency, doubt about their effectiveness, these things can keep you from fully stepping into the power they provide. When you release those fears, when you let go of the need for immediate results and simply trust the process, that's when transformation begins. This is your moment of self-realization. You're not just doing these practices because you're supposed to, you're doing them because they open you to divine wisdom, because they align your spirit with a higher purpose. From here, the next step is clear. Keep showing up. Keep praying, even if the words feel clumsy. Keep journaling, even if it's only a few sentences. Keep anointing yourself, even if you don't feel an immediate shift. Trust that each small action you take builds on the last, creating a foundation of faith and alignment that will sustain you through whatever comes next. You don't need to wait for a dramatic sign or a perfect moment. You just need to begin and then continue one step at a time. The access codes are already in your hands, use them. With every practice, you're reinforcing the connection between your heart and the divine, and that connection will guide you as you move forward. The truth is, these simple, sacred practices can change everything. They're not just routines, they're lifelines. Comment, "I use my access codes," if this resonates with you. By showing up consistently, by trusting that God's guidance is already within your reach, you'll discover a peace and clarity that no external force can provide. The door is open and the keys are in your hand. Use them and watch how your path unfolds in ways you never imagined. This is your final instruction before the flood. There's a feeling that's been stirring within you, something you can't quite put into words, yet it's undeniable. It's as if the air around you has changed, as if the rhythm of life itself has shifted in a way you've never experienced before. You've felt the inner nudges, the soft whispers in your spirit telling you that the time is now. You've seen the signs, the repeated numbers, the recurring phrases, the unexplainable connections that feel too aligned to be mere coincidence. But alongside those signs is a quiet hesitation, a subtle resistance. Am I really ready for this? You ask yourself. What if I step forward and nothing happens? It's a tug of war between faith and fear, and in the midst of it, you feel the weight of the moment pressing down. You're standing at the threshold, and the only question is, will you walk through? Perhaps you've been here before, staring at an open door but afraid to move. You remember the times you hesitated, the times you waited for clearer confirmation or the perfect circumstances. Maybe it was fear of failing, of stepping out and finding the door slam shut before you even get through it. Or maybe it was the fear of success, of what might happen if everything actually worked out. These doubts can be paralyzing, keeping you rooted in the same place, replaying the same excuses. It's easy to tell yourself you need more time, more preparation, more proof. But deep down, you know this is different. This isn't just another opportunity, it's the opportunity. It's the culmination of all the lessons, all the preparation, all the waiting. And now that it's here, the thought of missing it is just as terrifying as the thought of taking it. In Genesis 7 verse 1, God said to Noah, "Go into the ark, you and your whole family, because I have found you righteous in this generation." Noah didn't wait for more rain clouds to appear. He didn't demand additional signs or a second round of instructions. He moved when God told him to move, and because of his obedience, he and his family were saved from the flood. This story isn't about building a literal ark. It's about being ready to act when the time comes. It's about hearing the instruction, trusting the blueprint you've been given, and stepping forward even if you can't see exactly what's ahead. You've been handed your instruction. The question now is not whether you've been given enough, it's whether you'll respond. When you start moving, you'll begin to notice the floodgates opening in ways you never imagined. The right people will cross your path at the perfect moment. Resources you didn't even know existed will suddenly appear. You'll feel a sense of alignment, as though everything that once seemed out of reach is now within your grasp. The opportunities will multiply, not because you're forcing them to, but because you've stepped into the flow of divine timing. The fear that once held you back will start to dissolve, replaced by a quiet confidence. This isn't just a lucky break. It's the result of your willingness to trust, to act, to step forward when called. These shifts are proof that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Behind the scenes, forces are working on your behalf. The delay you once thought was punishment was actually preparation. The closed doors weren't denials, they were redirections. Every challenge you faced, every setback you endured, was part of a larger plan to bring you to this very moment. Now that you're here, you can see how the pieces fit together. You realize that what felt like chaos was actually divine order. The struggles you went through were never about testing your limits. They were about positioning you for overflow. The blessings you're stepping into now have been in the works for far longer than you realized. The floodgates aren't opening by accident. They're opening because you're finally ready to receive. This moment is sacred. It's not just about seeing the floodgates open, it's about stepping into them fully. It's one thing to recognize the opportunity, it's another to embrace it with all your heart. True alignment requires more than acknowledgement, it requires action. It means no longer hesitating or holding back. It means saying yes, even if you're unsure of the outcome. It's about trusting that the same God who brought you to this moment will carry you through it. This isn't the time for second guessing. It's the time to step into your power, to fully embody the purpose you've been given, and to claim the blessings that have been waiting for you. Now is the time to release fear and embrace faith. Let go of the what-ifs that have held you back. Trust that you've been prepared for this, that everything you need is already in place. Take that first step, and then another, and then another. Don't wait for perfection or more clarity, act with the clarity you have now. This is your moment to move, to rise, to step into the overflow. You've been chosen for this, and the time is now. The waiting is over. The portal is open, the instructions are clear, and the time to act is now. This isn't just a season of blessings, it's a season of transformation. Chosen one, move forward with faith. Step boldly into what God has already prepared for you. The hesitation, the fear, the doubt, it's all behind you now. Ahead lies the fulfillment of promises, the realization of your divine purpose, and a legacy that will ripple into eternity. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Like this video, and comment "I am chosen" to let this message anchor in your soul. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. For full prophetic revelations daily, Join the membership via the link in the description. Your spiritual path deserves more than fragments. Step into the full light. And remember, chosen ones, the time is now.